I will teach you how to ride. I will teach you.
I will teach you.
This makes it go. This makes it stop. Go, stop. Go, stop.
Welcome to the show, everybody.
Hey, how's it going out there, folks? You are listening, watching, whatever, to Rebel Rock Radio, the podcast formerly known as Rogue One Radio.
But we're not allowed to because of copyright.
We're not allowed to say that. So yeah. So what you been up to, JD? How's it going?
Doing all right. Doing good. Busy.
It's been a rough...
This storm season's been a busy one. Been a real busy one. Hopefully, from the weather reports that I've seen lately, they said it's supposed to calm down a little bit for a while. I hope that's the case because it's been getting pretty taxing. But other than that, man, just busy time of year, buddy. Busy time of year for storms.
Yeah.
And it's been one of those seasons where it's been a pretty active season. So
yeah.
Yep. What about yourself?
It hasn't been all that busy. So what are we at? We are at episode 169. And tonight so this is not a regularly scheduled live stream, obviously. Usually we do this on Tuesdays, but our scheduling got kind of put in the crapper.
Decided for us.
It was decided for us, yeah. Because we were planning on, the whole idea for yesterday was we were going to watch the premiere of The Acolyte, and then at our regularly scheduled time yesterday at 7 p.m. Central, we were going to talk about it. Well, they decided it wasn't even going to come on until 8 p.m. Central. So we're like, oh, shit. So we went back and forth on some different options and then decided, for this one time, I think we're just going to go postpone it to Wednesday. And it does feel a little weird to be doing it on a Wednesday. So in any case,
but between Disney and Mother Nature, they had other plans. So
yeah, because you had some weird weather going on last night too. I mean, we had some thunderstorms. We did. We had some thunderstorms, but I mean, that's really all we had. We just had thunderstorms. I didn't have really any.
We didn't have anything. We had lightning and really, really, really heavy rain. They recorded in one spot in eastern part of Wichita. They recorded a 12 inches per hour rainfall rate, which is one of the biggest I've ever heard of. That's a lot of damn rain. That's a lot of rain. And I think in less than an hour, even at my place, I think I got 2.5 inches in less than an hour.
Oh, wow.
That's a crazy amount of rain. So, hey, Spencer.
Hey, Spencer, how's it going? Yeah, I mean, it was really heavy rain. The rain was pretty nasty, and 2 of our cats got stuck out in it. I went out looking for them, and they eventually showed up. One of them was hiding underneath a car. But yeah, so it was crazy. So we've got that tonight. We're going to be talking about the premiere of The Acolyte, sharing our thoughts on that. We've got some reveals, and I don't know if I've got any recommendations. I've got kind of. I've got a recommendation for something I am currently reading. I'll count it. What the hell? But we've got some reveals and got some good music to jump into, which I think we're going to go ahead and do now. Let's start with the first song. Man, I've had a cough the last 2 days. I think it's allergies, hopefully. All right, this first song comes to us from a band based out of Montreal, Quebec, and they are called The Lookout. And they have a new album coming out this fall. No set in stone release date, just says this fall. Thousand Island Records is putting it out. It is called I Know the Future. And the song we are going to be playing from that upcoming album is the title track. So here is I Know the Future by The Lookout. The Lookout with I Know the Future.
Catchy little tune.
Catchy little tune, yeah. Never heard of these folks. It was just one of those albums sent to me through a PR company. I don't know which one. One of the random ones that I get stuff from. And I was like, hey, this sounds really good.
Yeah.
We'll play this.
Sometimes you catch some really good ones that way, just random stuff.
I do. It's very I mean, there's a lot of good stuff out there, but usually I don't play something unless it's caught my ear. Like I'll listen to basically everything they send me, and I'll just be like, I mean, it's all right. It's got to jump out at me. But yeah, that one jumped out at me. So, other than working, did you do anything this weekend?
I went Jeep shopping.
You know what? You did.
Yes, I went Jeep shopping.
Well, not just that, but you said that you finally saw Frozen
Frozen Kingdom. Yeah, I finally got a chance to watch it. Finally got a chance to sit down and watch it. So, for context, just for everybody, so they know, during the big storms that came through, my TV unfortunately lost consciousness forever, and that's a nice way of saying it died. Yeah. Hey, Baldo.
You Baldo.
Hey, so I went out and I had to buy a new TV. So during the week, let's see, was it last week? Last week or the week before, I bought a new TV, got it hooked up, and I've been playing a few video games, playing around with the settings, playing around with all the new stuff, all the new features, and blah blah blah. And finally, I saw that Frozen Kingdom came out on had come out on digital, and so we downloaded it and watched it. I was like, wow, I hadn't had a chance. I've been trying to make it to theaters to watch it, just haven't had time. And finally got a chance to sit down. Me and the girlfriend had a movie night, got to sit down and watch it. Enjoyed it very much. Enjoyed it. Yep, enjoyed it very much. It was very it had some of the good old funny stuff from the Ghostbusters, but it also kind of broke into some new territory too. So I kind of like it. But I digged it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it.
I did like it. I saw it in the theater like the week it came out. So I will have to watch it again because it's been a while. Really. So you bought a new TV and you got to see Frozen Kingdom.
Got to see Frozen Kingdom. Yep, finally. So it's not terribly unproductive.
Okay. Doesn't sound like a bad weekend at all. Man, what did I do? I went and saw Furiosa again.
Again?
Yeah. I really liked that movie. It was pretty good. I really liked it. But I'm also like a big fan of that franchise, the Mad Max franchise. I really liked it. But yeah,
I liked Fury Road. I haven't seen Furiosa yet, but I liked Fury Road. Fury Road was good.
That was in fact, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, the year that came out, I'm pretty sure that was in my top 10. Because I do a top 10 movie list every year. I'm pretty sure that one was in there. If you check out the Future of the Force, it's probably on there somewhere. Waldo wants to know what size TV.
85-inch.
Nice. So I'm a little jealous now. Your TV is bigger than any of ours. Our biggest one is 75.
Yeah, I had a 75. I had a Vizio 75, and basically the 85 that I found, I shopped as many deals as I could find. I went out and looked around, and I actually got a little money off of this one because I had a gift card that I had that I forgot about, and so basically I paid the same amount of money for this one as what I paid for the 75-inch Vizio, but I thought, well, they really don't make one that big for Vizio. And the Samsungs are always real nice. So it's a 85-inch Samsung. It's got the UHD and the HDR and all the fun little trimmings and everything. And
that's nice.
I had to slightly remodel my entertainment center to get it in because it takes up a lot of damn space. Takes up a lot of damn space. The funny part too is it like when we watch movies, I like it to be theater setting, so it has to be dark. And like, so I bought a while back on sale, I bought these Govee lights that go on the back of your TV that project colors of what's on the screen on your wall behind you, on the back behind the TV. And I liked it just because I was like, it kind of enhances and kind of sets the mood and the ambiance behind it and everything like that. So after the ambiance. So when I set up my 85, I got all my stickers put on, and I got all my Govies put on the back side of it and everything, and we turned it on. And when we were watching, I think I set up something on YouTube that was supposed to be a kind of a video that kind of shows the limits of like a UHD, HDR TV, you know, that kind of thing. And it was funny because it was flying over some mountain, and on the other side was this waterfall with a precipice on the other side that went straight down. And my girlfriend really wasn't paying attention, but I was looking at it because I'm always fascinated by it. I'm always impressed by it. But my girlfriend's like, oh, I don't really see the difference. It doesn't really look that different to me. I really don't, that kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And as soon as I said, honey, look up, and she doesn't like heights. I love to go to Colorado. I love to drive. I love to drive in the mountains. I love to drive those nice little narrow, makes you grab the oh shit handle trails, which is why I'm looking at Jeeps, because I want to be able to do that and do it on the Jeep trails and things like that. And as soon as it came over the precipice in that TV, I said, honey, look at the TV. And she looks up and she's like, what? Oh, God, why'd you make me do that? It made her sick. I'm like, TV works. It's approved.
That's awesome.
When it's big enough, that's the only thing you can see in the room, and it makes her physically ill because she doesn't like the heights on it. That's good. And I honestly, people, I don't torture my girlfriend like that. I just had to try it out and see if it worked. It was a snap decision, and we just pick on each other like that. It's just, relationship thing.
Of course.
Yeah.
So I like I said, I saw Furiosa again, and Sunday I went and saw another movie. It wasn't awful. It was cute. Not really my thing. I wouldn't go out of my way to recommend it, but I also, like, if somebody said they were going to go see it, I wouldn't be like, don't go ever see that movie. And it was, what was the name of the movie? If.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was, see, here's the thing. When I was like, man, I want to go see a movie. And I had nothing better to do on Sunday night. And so there was that, and there was another movie coming out, or that is already out, and I'm trying to find the name of it. And I flipped a coin to decide which one to go see. And where is it at? It was called In a Violent Nature. It's a slasher film. It's a Canadian slasher film. And I'm like, it looks like that could be interesting. But this one looks like it could be interesting too. They started at the same time. So I flipped a coin, and If won, and I sat through the whole thing, but I was just like, I don't know. It is okay. I don't think, no, let me rephrase. I know 100% that 52-year-old white nerds are not the target audience for that movie. Target audience is children, clearly. But
well, some people,
time,
but some people would make the same argument about Star Wars, and here we are, early 50s, late 40s, and we're still consuming the IP, and it's supposedly for children. I don't really care, but
watching the cartoons, we're still
watching the cartoons, and yeah,
I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. Yeah, if you want to go see it, go see it. It's whatever. I don't care. I didn't care for it. It was all right. It was all right. Will not be on my top 10 this year.
Hey, that's okay. Somebody out there must have enjoyed it because they made it. So I mean, we're good.
There's somebody out there that likes it.
Yeah.
But I'm not one of those.
Hey, if there's people out there that like Rebel Moon,
good God. So here's the thing. If I were putting my top 10 list together right now for 2024, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I wouldn't have enough. Because I mark what movies, like when I make my list of movies I've seen, I will mark the ones that are potential going to be on this list because they were just that good. I've only got 5 right now, so yeah, there's.
I'm not gonna lie. Right now my focus has been basically is kind of like right now obviously watching the Acolyte. I've been kind of anticipating that, waiting for that to come out just to start watching that. But really, right now, the biggest movie that I think that in
Tina!
theaters, the biggest thing I think we're going to go see right now is I think we're highly anticipated to see Wolverine and Deadpool.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I think we're definitely going to be going to theaters to see that. I think we'll definitely make a trip, and we're definitely going to make a trip to the over 21 theater to go see it. 21 and over theater. Hi, Tina. Yeah, so we're definitely anticipating that as far as that goes, and then the rest of them I'll have to catch up on. Like I said, I got Frozen Kingdom out of the way, and I got a few others that I need to get on the list. But with it being as busy time of year as it is, it's just like yeah, because like I said, Mother Nature last night when we were right in the middle of doing what we would have been doing the podcast, if we'd have done it last night, I would have gotten called to work, and it was everybody please come to work because holy crap, stuff fell down. And I literally worked from 9:30 last night till 6 a.m. in the morning. Or well, no, they called in earlier. That was like 8. It was earlier than that. But they called in. It was everybody go to work, and I worked till 6 o'clock in the morning. So yeah.
So other than that, outside of the Acolyte, let me tell you what happened last night and into today. So I'm watching the Acolyte. Second episode goes off, and I don't know if it's the same. I'm sure it's the same for everybody. But when something ends, Disney Plus will pop up like recommended for you type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And so I finished the Acolyte. And the recommendation that popped up for me was the new season of Doctor Who. Now, I would not call myself a Doctor Who fan. I don't dislike it, just not something I've ever gotten into.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my youngest, let's try that again. My oldest daughter was a big fan for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched an episode here or there or like a week, like a Christmas special or something with her. But it just never was my thing. I'm like, it's fine, whatever. It's not my thing. It's other people's thing. But, I was at the TV and I'm like, yeah, I'll check it out. Why not? So I watched like 2 episodes and I'm like, those are pretty good. I kind of like that. And so I got to talking to my chat group today on the social media and started chatting about that and got into this huge, in-depth Doctor Who discussion because almost everybody in that chat are big fans. Like they, one of them described themselves as a Whovian. So I'm like, oh, so you know Doctor Who. And so we got to talking about it, and they're like, we should start a rewatch. And I'm like, well, it wouldn't really be, I'm thinking it wouldn't really be a rewatch to me, but I got what they wanted. They like, we're going to watch these kind of at the same time and talk about it and that sort of thing.
I have a feeling I know where you're going with this.
Anyway, so we decided to start with season 9 because that's I think that's like what you could probably refer to as the first modern season of Doctor Who. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. It's also
because what I thought you were going to say is that when people said they want to do a rewatch, I'm like, do you mean the entire series that's ever been out or the modern stuff?
No. So yeah. So, and oddly enough, if you go to HBO Max, the 9th season is the first season that will show up. So all the rest of them aren't even on there. So we're starting with 9th Doctor. And today I watched season 1 or episode 1 of that season. And I really enjoyed it. I was like, I actually really kind of like this. I've been missing this. Haven't given it a chance. But yeah, the 9th one is Christopher Eschleken. I can't pronounce his last name. But it was good. So we're gonna start watching that. Yeah, Tina. That was the consensus. Everybody said watch everything except the one with Jodie Whittaker, which is the female doctor. And we had this discussion. It's not they didn't dislike it because she's a female doctor. They just thought the writing on that season was subpar, like severely subpar. Yeah, there's the dude's name. I still can't pronounce it. Eccleston? Is that
Eccleston?
right? I don't know.
Eccleston?
I remember him as he played Destro in The Rise of Cobra.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it was good. So we're going to start watching that. And my assignment is to try to get the 9th season done by the end of the month.
Nice.
So I'm looking up how many episodes. I know they told me that earlier today. Okay, there's only 14 episodes.
Yeah, you should be able to handle that.
So I should.
You should be able to handle it. You should be able to handle that. Yeah. Now, see, I know what Doctor Who is. I understand, the premise behind it. I understand what's going on.
Yeah.
I watched shows a long time ago, like back in the 80s. I watched the shows.
Yeah. See, but
I haven't watched the newer stuff.
Yeah, because I actually did see a couple of episodes of. That's what we just said, Spencer. The 9th Doctor is Eccleston. Read the chat, dude. Just messing with you, man. No, I saw a couple of episodes here and there, way back in the day.
Way back in the day
when Tom Baker was the Doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And
here we are aging ourselves.
Yeah, what year was that? That may have been. I got to check that one out now. I got to look that up. So he was the 4th Doctor. Oh, Jesus Christ. Tenure. December 1974. Jesus. Through March 1981. Wow. So yeah, it's he's one of the older ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know why I watched those, but it was on PBS and I was watching it. So, but only a couple episodes.
It's like, I mean, I know it's a very high popularity sci-fi show.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, there's a lot of people who like it, and like they said, that the Whovians, which sounds like a really weird Dr. Seuss book. So I'm not sure about that, but
Whovians.
But I mean, Whovians, and I know there's a lot of popularity behind it. I know it's a series people really get into and they really like it, and it's been around for a very long time. And I mean, obviously, it wouldn't have been around for a long time if there hadn't been a lot of people who invest time watching it. So I mean, that's a.
Yeah, I knew Tina. I knew that was kind of what the thing around the 9th Doctor was. So the modern Doctor Who starts with 9th. So that's what I thought, and that's why we're starting with the 9th. In addition to the fact that that's the only one we can find streaming. The first one,
which is shocking. I'm surprised they don't have like the original Doctor.
I'm sure the other ones from somewhere. They've got
the beginning on
somewhere.
Yeah, there's probably DVDs or Blu-rays or 4K discs out there with them on there with the entire.
I think I was reading somewhere that Doctor Who is like the longest continuing running science fiction show ever.
Would not surprise me.
Let me see, longest running show. It's in the Guinness World Records, the longest running science fiction television series. So,
interesting.
Very cool. Yeah.
One of these days, when I have a chance to sit down and be able to do something besides go to do storm work, I might actually have to sit down and start watching it.
Yeah. Start with the 9th.
Yeah. Start with the 9th.
It was good. I liked it. I really liked it.
Good.
Looking forward to seeing more. And I know Tina is here. But for those of you others that might be listening to this broadcast later, there's a pretty good chance that I am going to be, if there's only 14 episodes, I'm probably going to be done well before that deadline. Anyway. Yeah, so that was week. That was my week. Folks, if you are trying to catch us out there on the social media, we are on, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, although I don't really mess with that too much. We've got a Discord.
And this is our very first show that's streaming on X.
That's right. Yeah, today is the first time that we are live streaming on, I call it Twix.
Twix.
But yeah, we're on, we live stream here on YouTube. We live stream on Facebook Live. We've been doing that for several months. And now we're going to try out the Twix and see what kind of audience we get there. But so if you are watching us specifically on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and smash that like button. But most importantly, subscribe. We are only 11 subscribers away from having 200 subscribers.
Subscribe, people. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Don't lurk. Don't lurk. Subscribe.
Subscribe.
No lurking.
You don't even
subscribe.
have to watch the shows. Just subscribe.
We prefer you watch the show. I mean, we don't like talking. I mean, we like talking to each other, but damn.
I mean, Spencer will show up from time to time.
Yeah, Spencer and Tina and Baldo and some of the regulars. They like listening to
regulars.
us. They like listening to us chase squirrels. I mean, they have a fun time with it.
Yeah. But other than YouTube and those, we've also, we do the audio, usually shows up the day after on like Apple Podcast and Spotify and Audible and iHeart, a bunch of other ones. But instead of having, I know, Spencer, I might show up. Depends.
Depends on whether D&D is a priority or not.
Pretty much. But we've got one link that'll take you everywhere you need to go. And that is bio.link/Rebel Rock Radio. That'll take you to all the socials and all the audio platforms. And another link that will take you to, besides our social media and our audio platforms, it will have a link to our merchandise site where you can get some t-shirts, not for free. And also it has a link to our Patreon page. And there's a link if you want to go directly to that. It's just patreon.com/Rebel Rock Pod. We do have a Patreon site. That is one. Wait a minute. Is it one or two? Oh, crap. Is it $1 or $2? Now I can't.
$2.
I think it's $2.
$2.
Yeah, $2 a month.
Less.
And that'll get you the bonus content that we leaving a bad review for the pod, no free t-shirts. You're ridiculous, man.
Well,
I was gonna do the bonus watch Steve cook video just for you.
For the Patreons.
For the Patreon. Yeah, for the patrons. And Spencer said he would pay for that. So I haven't figured out what
I think I might actually pay to watch that.
I wouldn't. Nobody wants to see it. Yeah, I'll have to figure out what I'm going to cook for that episode for the first one. I'm just going to call it Steve Cooks. Maybe I'll fry an egg.
People, if that's not motivation to pay for Patreon,
man, it's only $2.
Just so you can see Steve butcher an egg. You people are not about quality. You're not about quality entertainment, people.
You guys are killing me. So we're gonna have some bonus. I mean, we've got some bonus content on there, and we're gonna be putting out more. But if you sign up, you will get a free sticker, and we will give you a shout out on this exact show, which is what I'm going to do now. So, for those of you that are our current patrons, I would like to give you thanks. So, Dave Brown, thank you. Kelly and Chris, aka Lunar Girl, aka Dragon Buddy, thank you. Justin Hensley, thank you. Charles Kirby, thank you. And Chantel from Pop My Culture, thank you all for your patronage.
Thanks for helping us pay the StreamYard bill.
Exactly. That's pretty much all it's for. Tina says we need to come watch Spencer's D&D one shot this Friday. Yeah, Tina, if you have a link to that and you can shoot it to me over in Discord, I will put it in the show description. Spencer is doing a Dungeons and Dragons. He's going to be the GM and just doing, like I said, it's just a one shot, just one adventure. Eventually, the new season is going to be starting up of Red 5 Tavern. I'm not sure when. Actually, I'm not sure when that starts back up again, but it will. We don't have a link for live yet. Okay, well, crap. Is it just on the Red 5 Tavern? It's called Gibbles Cruise Askew. Cool. Is it just on the Red 5 Tavern account? So, nope, but we have a trailer.
Nice.
I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've seen the trailer. Maybe I have. Hell no, I don't remember. Anyway, I think that's all we've got there. I think it is time for another song. Okay, it is on the Red 5 Tavern. So let me see. I'm trying to find the see if the trailer is on there. I want to see this trailer they're talking about. I'll look for it another time. I don't have time for that right now. Yeah, let's go ahead and play another song. This song is shoot, I don't know where this guy lives now. He was born in St. Joseph, Missouri. You know what? He might be based out of Fort Collins, Colorado. His name is Jon Snodgrass. And he put an album out on March 29th called Barge at Will. He's done quite a few albums. He's done most of the album. I like everything I've heard from him. This is just great. And so he put out Barge at Will, another great album. And actually the name of the artist on there is Jon Snodgrass and Friends, because he has other people come and hang out with him. Anyway, so this next song we're going to play is from that album, and it is called Saturday Night Movie Night. So where's it at? Oh, crap. Did I upload it? Yep, there it is. Okay. I got too much stuff going on here. All right, here we go. Saturday Night Movie Night by Jon Snodgrass and Friends.
Nice.
And buddies. It's not friends. It's buddies.
Saturday night, Saturday night, I didn't know it was possible. possible. Stranger things. I've seen strange things, but I haven't even seen season 2. Neither you. When I get down, fellow, so what I like is E.T. Aren't you listening? Going long distance just to break the loop. I was an only child, probably abused. That's not good news, it wasn't me. You weren't kind. We're all on the You wrecked my inside, and I surprised that no one noticed. We're all off the hook. And I'm getting pretty tired of this book. Saturday night, didn't know it was possible.
Ahoy there! Have you ever wanted to sail the seas, enjoy the beauty of the water, be a pirate and find treasure, or battle a giant sea creature? Wait, scratch off that last part. Sounds like certain death. Anyway, I invite you to Gibble's Cruise Askew.
All right.
I was a little confused about what was going on there for a second. I'm like, wait a minute, that can't be part of the song. What the hell?
No, that was not part of the song.
I was like, what the?
That
what
was the trailer for Gibble's
Cruise Askew.
Cruise Askew. There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, before that, of course, was Jon Snodgrass and his buddies with Saturday Night Movie Night. And
I dug that. I dug that song. It's kind of a pop or kind of a blues or not blues. What am I thinking of here? Bluegrass and country kind of song. Not too bad.
I think it's considered Americana. But yeah, Jon is he's a really, really good guy. He was actually at Mandy and I's wedding at that punk rock concert where we got married.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one that took the pictures and took a video.
Nice.
So yeah, he's a cool guy. Yeah, Tina says that it reminds her of Bob Dylan. A little bit. I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I can see it.
All right. What do we got going on now? Oh, it's time for our weekly. Yeah, this is a very subtle transition.
That is not what I would have said, but okay.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. That was a great one. One right into the other.
At least a little bit of context, be like, oh, here's the trailer for blah blah blah. Bam,
I just thought it'd be fun to just throw it out there.
Got to talk to that guy about putting that at the end of his song. Maybe he might consider it.
Maybe he's put it on there. Shit, forget. What was I on about? What time is it? What are we
Oh,
doing?
it's time for reveals
Oh,
and recommendations.
Weekly recommendations. That's right. It's
Yeah.
time for Rogue One Radio's weekly picks. I need to get some like echo going on that.
Picks, reveals, or recommendations.
Yeah, that.
Because I'm horrible about them.
So I do have one recommendation.
Okay.
And it is for a comic book slash. It's a trade paperback. It's a collection of comic books, like one story arc altogether. I'm actually not done with it, but just based off of what I have already read of it, I think it's amazing. I'm over halfway through it, but let me throw a picture of the cover up here. Is an X-Men book. Go figure, because that's pretty much all I'm reading lately. X-Men Messiah Complex, and it's a very, very interesting book. It was written by various people, because it's like several different comic books just collected together. So it's like whoever was writing whatever book, like you had let's see, some of the names: Mike Carey, Ed Brubaker, Mark Silvestri, Peter David. So just a lot of different writers, but really good. It's a really good story. Oh, Steve Spencer says he owns it. I do not own a physical copy of it, but again, based on what I've already read, I'm actually going to see if I can find a hardcover for it, because it's amazing. It is so flippin' good. It's like, if you are familiar with the X-Men at all and you remember a story arc called The House of M, this story arc takes place right after House of M. So at the end of House of M, most of the mutants in the world are dead. There's like just a handful of mutants left. And it's been years and no new mutants have been born, so they're going extinct, mutants. And Messiah Complex is actually the premise of it is a new mutant was born, and all these different factions are coming out of the woodwork trying to either kill it or save it. Yeah, you should read it again, Spencer. Remember it being just okay. I mean, I don't know. I really like it, and I think I like the artwork in it is just freaking amazing. There's some artwork done of one of my favorite X-Men characters, Cable. Some of the artwork they do of him in this book is freaking fantastic. It's just amazing.
Now, when did this come out?
Let's see. So, you're gonna have to help me with this one, Spencer. Do you know? So the trade came out in 2008. I am not sure when the original stories came out. I'm looking for it now. Originally published. Where is it at? Oh, okay. It's not okay. So November 2007. So about that time, 2007, 2008. So fairly old, but not really. Oh, he says he randomly picked an X-Men story to buy like 2-3 years ago, and that was it. I mean, I'm gonna try. If I can't find it on hardcover, then yeah, I'll get the trade. But I'm just reading it on digital right now. But yeah, I want to buy the hardcover of that if they have one. But I also want to get the hardcover of E is for Extinction, which we've been talking about several weeks ago. Anyway, so that's my recommendation. But I do have some reveals. First one I want to show you. Actually, I think we were talking about this last week. We might have been. I don't remember.
You're talking about Yes, we did talk about that last week.
Yeah. So I ordered it like that evening when we were talking about it, and it's got some pretty cool artwork in it. It's pretty badass. I have not read it because I haven't got to it yet because I'm still reading X-Men, and I don't want to read two comic books at the same time. So there's that. If you are a patron, there is something else I received in the mail last week, and I did kind of not really an unboxing, just a, hey, look, this is what I got thing on our Patreon. So I'm not going to show it to you again because you're going to have to pay to see that one. But I've also got some other goodies that have popped up here in the man cave, if you want to call it that.
There's a reason. There's a reason Steve has blurry stuff, and it's not because he has bad cameraing.
Yeah, no, I did the
It's
blur
not because of his camera skills.
I did the blur on purpose. But the first one I'm going to show you, you won't be able to see even if I unblur because it's on a different wall. But first I'm going to show you the image of it. And this is a new wall. So as you can see, that's a couple of X-Men posters. But I did put something together so that you can see it a little bit closer. So let me get that going there.
I always enjoy that artwork.
Yeah.
That's some good artwork.
So this is the poster that I can't put in a frame because I can't find a frame big enough.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went to Hobby Lobby to get a quote on a custom frame because there are literally no frames that big.
Mm-hmm.
And they want like $150 for a custom frame. I'm like, yeah, I'll just stick with what I've got here. It's canvas, so it's not paper. So it's made out of canvas, and I just popped it up there with some thumbtacks. Mm-hmm. It's good to go. Okay, so hopefully you will actually see the difference on the wall behind me. If not, this is going to be really ridiculous.
Awkward?
Yeah, really awkward. Okay, so
look at there.
Let me see. Okay, so if you see, I moved the Mandalorian movie poster over, and right next to it is if you can see really really closely, if you look really closely, it's my coffee mug on the wall. And then right underneath that is a parody of the Abbey Road Beatles album.
Oh, I've seen that one. That one's awesome.
Actually, I can. Oh man, the thumbtack fell out. God damn it. Okay, let me get it closer.
Yeah, I've seen that before. That's hilarious. I like that one.
I have no idea what happened to my thumbtack, so I'm gonna have to put that up again later.
You'll find it when you step on it.
There are, yeah, really. The cat will step on it.
Yeah.
So I actually have two more posters coming. So I'm gonna have to move around again. And I just realized that I do have another poster that's over on that wall. That might have to be for next week. It's a Fallout poster. So
nice.
That's cool stuff. So anyway, that is my reveal for the week.
Nice.
All right, what do you got?
All good ones. Well, so obviously I'm wearing the T-shirt for the 40th anniversary Return of the Jedi. Everybody who knows, anybody who's watched the show, we've done reveals. We've done our discussions on our top Star Wars movies. We've ranked all the Star Wars movies. I always talk about it. Return of the Jedi is always at the top of my list of Star Wars movies. That's my favorite. It's the one that has the most nostalgia for me. It's the one that has the most memories and so on and so forth. So Return of the Jedi has always been my favorite. And so when I found out they were releasing a book about it that put in more information that was rounded up about different stories from the background, from the making of, from different things, I was like, I'm excited to get this. And I told people about it once already on one of our previous shows, but I finally got my Return of the Jedi visual archive book. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and there is all kinds of stuff in here about Return of the Jedi, from set designs, from pictures from the movies, from here you go, Steve. There's one for you, buddy. Right there.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. And each one of them has got like bits and pieces of information. There's little stories in here. There's also like little fold outs that come along with it that have like set designs and like concept art and different things, and you know how the Death Star 2 was constructed in there. And this is just some of the stuff that I've thumbed through in the beginning, and then like some of Luke's design for his costume. And there's just, I mean, there's all kinds of, like I said, there's all kinds of things in here that you can pop out and look at, and little stories to read, and little things about stuff that went on in the movies, and little facts and little snippets and things. So I highly recommend it. It's an awesome book. Like I said, it's one of my favorite movies. So the more information that I can learn all these years later about the show, about the movie and stuff, is always awesome. And so I'm looking forward to finishing thumbing through this and looking at all the information that I didn't know about Return of the Jedi. So yeah, Return of the Jedi, the visual archive.
The visual archive. Okay, I'm trying to find a link for it.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember where I bought it.
I can't find it on Amazon. So it's the 40th anniversary visual archive.
It's just called Star Wars Return of the Jedi, a visual archive.
A visual archive.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm not seeing it on Amazon unless.
Might try to look it up here and see if maybe I can find.
Oh, wait a minute! There it is, right there. Why? Seriously, why? Because I didn't add the word Star Wars. I don't know what I'm looking for when I say Return of the Jedi. Is there any other Return of the Jedi?
Well, stranger things have happened.
Good Lord. Okay. So I am going to put a link to that if you want that on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Anniversary, a visual archive. It's ridiculous. Just because I didn't have the word Star Wars in there.
Well, how dare you not put that?
How dare I?
How dare you?
Yeah. Okay.
Jeez,
do we have any other reveals?
That's it for this week. I've got more on deck. I got more coming. And then I've actually have, just to give you guys a little bit of a preview, I've previewed some stuff on this stuff, and I'll give you a hint. It's Sideshow Collectible stuff. I purchased another one and had one that was delayed and is on its way. As soon as I get all those pieces put together, I'll show you each individual one, and then I have a little homage of something that I'm going to set up in my living room that I'm going to take some extensive pictures of and reveal for everybody and show it to everybody.
You know what we should do as a bonus video is we should pick out some of our favorite souvenir pieces.
Yes.
And just show them off and talk about them on a bonus audio or a bonus video.
Like a Patreon exclusive kind of thing.
Patreon exclusive, yeah.
Patreon exclusive. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to showcase some of the collection and
you got a bunch
show
of
people some of it. Man, this is just part of it. You got to turn it around. There's more, and there's more in the living room. Yeah, that would be great. That would be a lot of fun. I got a lot of pieces I could show and just give a little background story on some of them and show how the hell I got it and everything I had to do to get it and so on.
All right. Well, that's it for our weekly picks. We'll be back next week with more picks. We are getting to the Acolyte. We are almost there, folks.
We're almost there.
We're almost there, man.
Third song, and then we're there.
We're there. We're almost there. All right. So we got one more song. And this comes to us from Dallas, Texas. And the name of the band is Moonstone. And wait a minute, how come I don't have a release date on here?
What the flim flam, whatever.
What's up with that?
What's up with
they
that?
put out a single. It's not out on an album. It's a single that was put out. Oh, there it is. May 27th. And the name of the single is Figured Out. So here is Figured Out by Moonstone.
It's cold, and I was left outside, left in the driver's seat, and I don't know how to drive. Somehow, I guess I got it figured out. And now, all is for nothing. I don't need your help. And even if I did, I couldn't tell you. I don't need you now. And even if I do, I couldn't tell you. Somehow, I guess I got it figured out. And now, all is for nothing. Rain is coming down on me. I wipe my own eyes so that I can finally see. Your hands to hold me when I'm on the ground. So now, I guess I gotta figure it out. Hyper-independence got me spinning. Won't seek the help. I don't need your help. And even if I did, I couldn't tell you. I don't need you now. And even if I do, I couldn't tell you. Somehow, I guess I got it figured out. And now, one is for nothing. I don't need your help. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you. I don't need you now. And even if I do, I couldn't tell you. Somehow, I guess I got it figured out. And now, one is for nothing. Hyper-independence got me spinning. Won't take the help when it's given.
So that kind of reminded me a bit of Paramore. If you're familiar with that band.
That I have to say that tonight's selection of music is probably the most like different types that I
Yeah,
think I've ever heard on I've heard you play on the show.
yeah, I kind of did
It's
that.
good. It's all of them real good tracks. Real good tracks.
Bouncing off. Yeah,
Yeah, no, it's good. I like it. It's good. Yeah, real good tracks.
good stuff. So yeah, hopefully we'll be seeing an album from them eventually. All right, it is time to talk about some Acolyte. Before we get into our thoughts, a friend of ours had some thoughts to share on the show, and I kind of have to agree with him. But let's hear it from him first.
Okay.
I have not had the privilege of watching any of the episodes of The Acolyte coming out on Disney Plus, but I'll tell you this much. I am willing and ready to monkey cart the whole thing if they don't have some proper representation in this show. Sure, they got everybody in there, all inclusive. But you know what I didn't see? Not one single monkey lizard. I need me a monkey lizard Jedi in the first 2 episodes, or I'm done with Star Wars for at least the next week. You can bet my sweaty lizard tail on it. Bub out.
I agree, Bub. No representation of monkey lizards. What the hell is wrong with Star Wars these days?
Oh, good Lord. Good Lord.
Can we not get some monkey lizard love?
Well, if we can have a Wookiee Jedi, why can't we have a monkey lizard Jedi? I mean, seriously.
Exactly.
I mean, anything's possible at this point.
His concerns are valid. We still have the rest of the season to go. There's still hope.
Hey, there's potential. There is always potential.
There's hope. Okay. Before we get into our discussion, if you haven't seen the show yet, or the 2 episodes yet, stop the video now because there will be spoilers.
Yes, there will be spoilers.
This is not spoiler free.
Nope.
Not spoiler free. Let's just jump right into the elephant in the room.
Rest in peace, Trinity.
Fucking they
Why? I feel
promoted the hell out of Carrie Ann Moss being in this show, and I was so excited. And she dies like in the first 7 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck? I had to stop the episode. I had to pause, and I was like,
So when I say last night Mother Nature had plans, Mother Nature must have known how I felt about the whole thing. Because I was sitting there watching it. I watched that part. I was dumbfounded by what I saw. And then my power at my house went out for about 10 minutes. So Mother Nature knew that I was upset about the whole thing.
I was so freaking irritated. I had to stop watching the show.
And the part about it was, the crazy thing about it is that it started off so cool. The way that the fight choreography between the two of them, the interaction between the fight, I mean, the whole fight between the two of them was awesome.
I mean, when it first started, it kind of gave me vibes of the first Mandalorian episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It kind of played into that nostalgia a little bit. And
yeah.
I'll be honest with you, I not necessarily a criticism, but I think as I watched the show, I started to get a better feeling of why maybe she did it. But when May walks up to the table and says, "Attack me with all your strength," I kind of was a little bit worried because I was like, okay, that's some weird dialogue. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
But after watching the show, hey, Smirking Bear, after watching the show and watching how May interacts with everybody, I kind of on a little bit, I kind of forgave it a little bit because I was like,
Denise is
okay,
in the chat too. Sorry about that.
That's all right. Hey, Denise.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, I was kind of like, that's a little weird on the dialogue side of it, but I was like, okay, I'll accept it for now. We'll see how things go. And then after I watched her character go a little further, I was like, okay, it makes a little bit more sense. It makes a little bit more characteristic to her, so it made more sense to me. But then I saw the fight between them. I was like, this is starting out cool. This is starting out great. They're fighting. They're doing their thing. Maybe she's going to beat her and the girl's going to run off and then things are going to keep going and progressing and they're going to chase after her or whatever. And as soon as I saw her look at the bartender and throw the knife, I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I said, I know exactly what's going to happen. And then they did it. And I went, oh my God, are you freaking serious? They promoted this show with Carrie Ann Moss being in it, and 5 minutes into the show, she's already dead. I
think if they had not promoted it so heavily with her, it would not have bothered me as much. But I was really excited to see Carrie Ann Moss in this show. And we only got her for like 5. And I was like, oh gosh. But that being said, this fight sequence was incredible.
Yes. Both this one.
Denise, you might that could be good. I could see that happening. I could see that. Carrie Ann Moss flashback scenes.
That's and I considered that. I considered that too, because we've gotten the plot line
Dragon
that.
Buddy.
Hey, Dragon Buddy.
We've gotten the up with the escape pod.
Nice. They came out with the idea, and they've already said that the 4 Jedi were responsible for something happening on the planet, but we don't know what happened. So yeah, it very well could be that we'll get some flashbacks, we'll get some background, we'll get some episodes where they'll they'll go back in time and they'll kind of explain what happened.
We're going to get some flashbacks.
I think we'll definitely get some flashbacks with it. So it'll be kind of interesting to see how that all plays out and how that works.
I will definitely say this about the show is that it is very intriguing. You got.
Oh, I'm overall. We started out the gate complaining about Carrie Ann Moss Carrie Ann Moss's death in the show right out the gate. Right. But overall, I'm invested. I like the show. I like the overall tone.
I wanted to get that out of the way because I was pissed.
Yeah, because really so far, other than a few other minor details, really that's my biggest complaint right now is that they killed her off right away. Other than that, I'm very invested. Yeah. I like the show. I like the pace. Master Soul he's my favorite character. I like him already. He is awesome. I like his character. So
I'll get to my favorite character in a minute, but just the whole, like, you get the tease of the Sith guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that was cool. And it's like, I was not watching the runtime while I was watching that episode, but they showed that. And I'm like, are we going to find out who that is? And then the episode ended, and I was like, oh, damn it.
Yeah. And then you didn't even see him in episode 2.
Yeah, and we don't even see him in episode 2. So we have no idea who that is. But I'm just going to say, for the record, that I am I'm just going to say it. I'm very optimistic about who that's going to end up being. I have some theories that I'm not going to go over.
I have my theory of I'm not necessarily specifically who he is, but I have a feeling that what we think is going on is not what's going on.
I will say,
if that makes sense.
One of my theories is that with this show, they are going to canonize an EU character. That's all I'm going to say.
I think I know who you're talking about, but
if they do, man,
the possibilities are endless.
Show. This was a good show. I will not say it was Andor good.
Right.
But it was better than.
I can't believe you're going to say this.
I'm going to say it.
I know what you're going to say, and I can't believe you're going to do it. I can't believe you're going to do it. Get it out. Oh, my God. I knew it. I knew it was coming.
Just based off what we've already seen. Because of the intrigue factor. It's got like this, like you said, you're invested. It's like you can't help but, I want to know what's going on. I want to know what's happening. As far as favorite characters, I really got to go with, not too much of a favorite because I can't remember their name. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull this up. Hang on. Give me a second.
We swear we come prepared in most of the time.
No,
yeah, Master, I agree with Tina.
Osha. Or Asha. The sister.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think she's my favorite character because she's got this and it's kind of a weird reason. I'm coming from like a Star Wars role-playing game viewpoint, and the idea of a former Jedi who is now basically a mechanic.
Mhm.
And it's just a very interesting character
Mhm.
archetype.
Well, and I don't, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe I might be. I might be because first thing I thought of was Cal Kestis, but Cal Kestis was his master got killed during Order 66, and he went into hiding as a Jedi, and then he came back out.
Yeah.
You know, for the early parts of the rebellion, where I don't think that I can think of right off the top of my head. I cannot think of a Star Wars medium where we've had a character who failed to become a Jedi, who actually failed out of the system, and then we see what happens to them afterwards. Yeah. Like, ones that don't pass, because there's ones that don't pass, there's ones that don't make it, they don't make the cut. So what happens to them? Because they go through all that training, they go through all that years of discipline and training and all that kind of stuff. What happens to them? And this is kind of interesting because now we have that. We have a character in that, but now she's been thrown right back into the fold of the Jedi because of everything that's going on. And the cool thing about it to me is the story is just, there's layers. It seems like there's layers, because every time you think you got it, every time something happened and they go, oh, it's a twin, okay, that makes sense. But there's more to it than just them being twins. There's more to it. There's background between the two of them. There's the fact they thought each other was dead. And clearly they thought each other was dead, because you can see that at the very end of the second episode. They thought, each other thought the other one was dead. But you see Osha having the visions of almost like a dyad type situation going on between the two of them. But obviously the other one, May, was not projecting that, and Osha wasn't doing it to May. So now it thickens the plot. Things are getting even more interesting, because you're trying to figure out, wait a minute, they didn't know each other was alive, so who the hell's doing the force projections in her? Is this going to be like the MMORPG, the Knights of the Old Republic? And the one where the two twins are born, and they have to it ends up being one of them. One of them has to be the one to survive, kind of thing. Which one's better?
So Denise has an answer. So Iskat Mother in Rise of the Red Blade, which I haven't read, didn't pass. But in the canon, if you don't pass, they typically work at the temple. Okay. And then during the High Republic, though, it was more acceptable for people to step away from the Order or become way seekers and be on their own path. Okay. Yeah. I clearly need to read more. I clearly need to read more High Republic, but
yeah. And I've read quite a few of the High Republic books. I just missed that part.
I've read,
but I haven't. I haven't. I'm like halfway through the second phase.
But
and
just this idea of these way seekers, Denise, you'll have to let me know what books those are in, because I would definitely like to see what that's all about. That sounds very interesting.
And as far as what I was speaking of too, is that I know in books and stuff like that, but we seekers doesn't work out. We seekers.
Great.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, I'm down.
So,
I want to read about those folks.
So almost like a Ahsoka style individual.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah,
kind of almost like she left the Order behind because she felt betrayed, so she goes off and does her own thing, and which is a discussion that if we could address, or we could not, or we could just kind of leave it alone, because there's been some issues that people have been worried about, as far as like, and I know this takes place 100 years before even the Phantom Menace took place. So people are always like, well, we're interested to see how this works, because the two biggest complaints is they're worried about one, the Sith were supposed to be dead and they were supposed to be extinct for 1,000 years. So how did they work in the shadows? Which I think that's easily, I think that's easily explained. That's not that hard to explain that, because if they show up in the Phantom Menace, obviously they've been there, so they survived and somehow they existed under the guise of the Jedi and out without them knowing that they were there. So obviously they did survive. They just didn't know that they had survived.
Yeah. Denise,
so that's easily explained.
Sorry. I was going to say, Denise, can you clarify your statement? I don't.
would be 100% a way seeker.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, 100% be a way seeker. Yeah.
Yeah.
So technically, people like Ahsoka, Cal Kestis, probably the Jedi that were left after the Purge, after Order 66. I would say any of them would be considered. In some ways, would be considered.
Very good. Jedi being overly confident, ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, 100%. And if you think about it, this show kind of accents that. It was addressed in The Last Jedi. It's been addressed many times about how wrapped up in politics and the goings on of the Republic the Jedi became, and got away from the core tenets, which was peace and justice, and not being politicians and not being generals,
right,
and things like that.
The Clone Wars would not have gone the way it did if the Jedi were not, if the Jedi, if they had stuck to their core tenets.
Yeah. It'd have been a very different outcome. Yeah. They probably, to be honest with you, the Jedi, the Clone Wars may not have even happened had it not been for the way the Jedi and the Republic, their association together and what they were doing at the time.
Yeah.
If things would have gone differently and the Jedi had not involved themselves in politics and all the major goings on of the Republic, if they were just strictly the warrior monks they said they were going to be, and were ambassadors of peace and justice, you probably wouldn't even have the Clone Wars.
Yeah. But, okay, so with the Acolyte, we're at, the Jedi is at the height of their power, the Jedi Order, the height of their power, kind of leaning toward the end of the High Republic era.
Mm-hmm.
Have we gotten an actual time frame for this show?
I'm not sure. Like I said, I know they said it was 100 years before the. It was 100 years before the events of the Phantom Menace.
100 years. Okay, so yeah, that gives us a time frame. 100
and
years
I think
before,
their modified crawl at the beginning, I think actually says that too. There's a modified crawl at the beginning of the show, and it says 100 years or something like that. 100 years before, it says something to that effect. I can't remember just exactly what it said, but it was 100 years.
Yeah, that's fair enough. 100 years before Phantom Menace. Sidious, not Sidious. Well, yeah, Sidious. Palpatine's not alive yet. Hey, Ro.
Hey, Ro.
So Palpatine's not alive yet. Plagueis probably is.
Mm-hmm. Plagueis. Mm-hmm.
Plagueis
is it Plagueis? Is it Plagueis or Plagueis?
I don't know.
I've always heard it pronounced Plagueis. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
So he is. It is likely that he is alive.
Mm-hmm. Well, and that's where my theory about what is actually going on kind of comes into play with that whole thing, is what I think's going on as opposed to what's really going on. But I mean, it's too early in the show to tell. Yeah. But I have like my early theories, so hey, who knows?
So Bobby Earl Plagueis the Third. Okay. So that's our time frame. But yeah, Tina had said earlier, and having watched the show, the Jedi, at least 4 of them, had done some suspicious shit. And that's the whole reason that May is after them, for revenge. So certainly, I'm sure we're going to get some more insight into what actually happened.
Mm-hmm. And really, it's kind of one of those things where did they do some suspicious shit? I mean, who knows? Because at the beginning, Osha thought that May was the one that set the fire that killed everybody, and May is actually after. May is after them because she believes that they did something that was involved.
Well,
and then
in the second episode, the dude that was floating.
I was just going to bring that up. The guy that was floating that she couldn't beat up.
He was asking forgiveness. Why ask forgiveness if you didn't do something wrong? But he said, "We thought." What was the phrase? What was the quote? Something about something along the lines of, "We thought we were doing the right thing."
Yeah.
But obviously, if he's asking forgiveness, they didn't.
Well, and then Ro brings up a good point. What happened that made a Jedi go from being at peace, to drinking a poison willingly? Because as soon as he saw her, he knew that she was back for revenge.
Yeah,
and there was no point. He just ended it right there.
Oh,
so
that was the quote right there. Right there. We thought we were doing the right thing.
Yeah, we thought we were doing the right thing. So it's gonna be interesting because Master Andula didn't know who she was and didn't know why they were quarreling. And now we're gonna see, we saw him commit suicide over the whole thing because he knew he had done something wrong. And the next thing it's gonna be they're going after a Wookiee Jedi.
Yeah.
Which to me that's gonna be cool. That's gonna be interesting to see.
Yeah, it's a crazy thought. Like what did the Jedi do? Like Rose said, what was so bad that a Jedi first asks for forgiveness and then kills himself?
Yeah. And we know Osha and May's sister or mother died in a fire on their planet. Something happened. And that's why I said, like you were talking earlier, like we're going to get flashbacks and stuff like that. We're going to see some stuff from back when it happened, and there's going to be kind of a reveal. Yeah, and May thought that Osha died. Osha thought that May died.
Right.
And at some point, we had that witches cult, which we don't know much about yet. But there's that cult that's going to show up, and they're going to have something to do with it. So. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the layers are it seems like it's just packing layer upon layer on the story. And we get to see how this is all going to play out. How's it going to end?
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2-episode premiere definitely set it up for a lot of, okay, what the hell happened? What's going on?
What'd you do?
Enough to keep at least me, enough to keep me invested in coming back and watching it.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm definitely invested in the story. I'm definitely invested. There's a lot of good characters in there. There's a couple characters I don't really care for. There's a couple characters I really don't like. I really don't care for. But other than that, the story is packing layers. It's intriguing. I'm anxious to see how this all unfolds, how it all goes.
So, are you saying that the show is like an ogre, which is like onions?
Well, liars!
Onions
I'm an ogre. I'm an ogre. I have liars. I've got liars. I'm sorry. That was a terrible Scottish accent. Sorry.
Man.
This is why I will play with electricity, and I'm not an actor. I'm just saying.
But yeah,
I was thinking that too, Ro. I was actually thinking that too, that it might be another dyad situation.
Could be.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. Other than the fact that they've been separated for so long, maybe the Sith, the mysterious Sith in all this, he sees something in them that could bring them together. But that's what I think is going to be interesting, is because it's to see, I want to see, what happened on the planet that made them want to kill the Jedi.
I mean,
to make them. They're not. You would think a Sith would just want to kill Jedi. Period. Not I want to kill a Force-specific Jedi.
But not necessarily, because we know that the Sith have plans, laid on plans.
Right.
Maybe it was this guy's plan to kill all these Jedi to get them together
Mm-hmm.
for purposes of whatever.
Right.
Uh,
Right. And see, that's and Ro brought up the point.
tooth
That's
guy?
what I think.
What tooth guy are you talking about, Ro?
That's the one. Have you seen the pictures of the guy with the black mask and he's just got a row of like metal teeth across it?
Oh no, I haven't
That's
seen that.
yeah. That's supposedly that's the quote unquote Sith. See, Ro brought up a point, and that's something I wanted that I was going to talk about here. Is that and when I saw it, I assumed that May was the acolyte and Osha was the sister, and I assumed that's what the thing was. I don't think that's what's going on. I think that this guy, this mysterious Sith guy with the red lightsaber, I think he's an acolyte, and I think he's using those two to get to the Jedi and do what he needs to do in order for or for someone else. So I think there's another layer upon that as well. I don't think
he's not even the same or the main Sith.
Yeah, that was always been my theory. Is I don't think he's the main guy. I think there's somebody else. I think there's somebody else bigger than him that we're going to meet.
I did catch that, Ro, and I actually was going to point something out about that with the witches' tattoos.
Yeah.
Like, does that mean?
Well, Master Undula saw it. She saw the tattoo and she knew what it was.
So, is it maybe this planet that they were growing up on was some sort of there was some sort of presence of witches, not necessarily Dathomirian witches, but just a different
different type.
Creepy Ezra Miller guy. Oh, I know you're talking about the one that was making the poison. Yeah, he does kind of give me some Ezra Miller vibes now that you mention it. Yeah. So Tina said that the guy that made the poison maybe could be something. I mean, yeah, he's got to be, because he's, when Asha came in and was pretending to be May, he was like, "Oh, you didn't use the poison. He's going to be so pleased."
Yeah, well, but he also knew. The thing is that when he saw Osha in the thing when they were trying to set him up for a trap, he knew who she was, but May didn't know that her sister was alive. Yeah. But that guy did. So yeah, obviously there's more. He's playing deliberately dumb. I agree with that. He's playing deliberately dumb. He knows more than what he's letting on.
Yeah.
He knows more than he knows more than what he says he does.
There's
and I think he's
more going on than what, face value.
Right. And that's why I'm saying this show has got layers. There's definitely more. There's more to this story. There's more that's going on than what we think. And I don't think it's just about the Jedi and what they did and about May and Osha. I think there's more layers even beyond that. So there's several different aspects of this story that's going in different directions, and it may culminate at the end, or depending on how good it does, it may go on from there.
And,
honestly,
this is the type of stuff that makes the show interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Not just and then you add the fight choreography and the battles with just the martial arts, and then you add the interesting characters. Like I said, Master Soul is probably one of my favorites right now. That's awesome. Love that guy. That I can't. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try to butcher that guy's name, but yeah, I like him. He's one of my favorite characters so far in the show. And you've got different intriguing characters. And then the young Padawan, who I didn't know was X-23 in Logan, which is awesome. Her character, and I can't think of the name right off the top of it, but her character, being a young Padawan, but coming up with good ideas and showing her prowess as a young Padawan and her potential. You've got a lot of interesting characters they're kind of layering and they're kind of showing. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, that just dawned on me. I didn't think about that. You just said it. The Padawan
The
is
Padawan is the girl
X-23.
is X-23 from Logan. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Let me see if I can get her name because I can't.
Daphne Keene. Daphne Keene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep. She just looks a little older because Logan came out quite a few years ago, so she looks
She's
a little
only
older now.
19
So
now.
yeah. But how old was she when she did Logan? I mean, she was like what, 11 or 12 years old or something like that.
Let's see. That movie is from 2017.
27. Oh, okay, 2017. So
She was youngin'.
yeah, she was young. Yeah, so she'd have been 11, maybe 12 when she did that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I didn't.
Yeah. I didn't realize that until somebody actually showed where some of these folks came from.
Yeah.
And like, the guy that plays Master Soul, he's from Squid Games.
See, I never watched that one, so.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it because everybody at the time when the Squid Games came out, they were like, "Oh, this is a great show! It's a great show." So I watched the I think it was the Chinese version of it, and he was in there.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guy that we were talking about, the guy that made the poison.
Uh-huh.
The actor's name is Manny Jacinto, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Mm-hmm.
He was on a TV show, really good TV show, from back in, came out right before COVID hit, called The Good Place. The Good Place was, it was Kristen Bell and Ted Danson, and basically it was like they were dead. All the people were dead, and they were in either heaven or hell, depending on the season. But yeah, that actor played a guy named Jason who was, also kind of ignorant. But
then we know why they picked him. And Ro, by the way, you're welcome. I'm glad I could point that out to you, and now that you can't unsee that, so I'm
what's that now?
The fact that she's X-23.
Oh,
I'm assuming that's what you're talking about.
I'm apparently not seeing his comment.
Yeah, it says I can't unsee that now, JD. LOL.
Oh, that's Smirking Bear. That's not Ro.
Oh, Smirking Bear. Sorry.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, overall, it's a good show.
And I keep saying Carrie Ann Moss's was in Dula. This wasn't in Dula. It was in Dara. That's my bad.
What's that now?
Was in Dara. Carrie Ann Moss's Jedi character was Jedi Master in Dara, not in Dula. I kept saying in Dula for some reason.
Oh, yeah, no, in Dara.
Yeah, and her name was in Dara.
See, now,
so, yeah.
Going back to Smirking Bear's comment, that's something I can't unsee.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Disney.
Like you said, Disney bad. Whatever. Well, like you said, I'm thinking that we'll definitely get to see her again in some flashback scenes. So I don't think it'll be. I don't think it'll be a total loss. I think, and I think that the other thing about it too is that a lot of these early ideas that we have and a lot of the early critiques that we have and stuff like that. It's still very early in the show. We still have a lot of show to go through. Yeah. And so, the plot as it unfolds, the stories and the battles and things like that as it unfolds. I think at this point, from what I've seen so far, I think it's just going to get better as we go. And because, all we've seen is like the hand-to-hand combat. The hand-to-hand combat part of it. And then when you start getting into like the lightsabers, and then if we do see the Jedi duel the Sith Acolyte in part of the show, I think it's going to be pretty spectacular. You know, it's going to be pretty neat. Now, the boast that it's going to be better than Revenge of the Sith battles, that's.
I don't know about that.
I don't know about that. I'm thinking that I think you're putting the cart before the horse, as it were, on that part.
I mean, one could say that you can be pretty optimistic about how this show is going to turn out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, just based off of the two that we got, I mean, I liked it. And so I am, looking forward to more of it, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, from what I can gather, you liked it.
Yeah.
Like
I said, I was disappointed about her death at the first. I got one character that I'm not invested in, and I don't like, but that could be on purpose. To be honest with you, that could be on purpose. That's the green Venestra, Jedi Master Venestra.
I can see why you would think. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think, and like I said, that may be by design. Because at the end of the second episode, Master Soul says, I know where she's going next, and we want to go there now. We don't need to have a meeting. We don't need to discuss it. We know where she's going. We need to be in pursuit. And she gets on there and she's like, no, we will have a meeting. You will show up. We will discuss this, blah, 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 blah. And I think, like I said, maybe that's by design. Maybe her attitude towards it is by design, because everything that the Jedi were doing, it was no longer about them being able to follow their ambitions and do their own thing, which is something that they always said. And like in the book that I'm reading right now, which is The Living Force, that was something that Qui-Gon Jinn kind of highlighted, is that the Jedi don't pay so much attention to the little guys and to the little people anymore. It's all about the politics and what's going on in the greater part of the galaxy. And maybe that's something they're trying to highlight in this show, is exactly what the Jedi were doing that caused their downfall, if that makes sense.
See, now, as far as characters that I just didn't connect with or haven't connected with and don't really care for, I have to agree with both Ro and Spencer. Venestra, like you said, but also Yord. Spencer really hit the nail on the head, at least for me. And when he said here in the chat, he said Yord annoyed me. He did. He was kind of annoying.
He was at first for me, but I'll tell you where he kind of his character kind of made a little bit better. Where his character was made a little bit better for me was when Osha broke off and she found the Jedi dead from poison. The first thing I thought of was that, oh, great, she's got herself in a situation where they're going to think that she's responsible and she's the reason why he's dead. And they started to blame her. They started looking at her and go, what did you do? Why are you not in handcuffs? Why did you kill this man? How did this happen? Blah, 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 blah. And he comes around the corner and says, no, I've been with her the whole time. I've watched her. She's not responsible for this. So at that point, I kind of looked at it and I went, okay, now I kind of like his character a little better. Now I'm a little bit more invested in what they got going on. Part of I guess from about the second half of episode 2 on, I liked his character a little bit better. At the beginning, I really didn't care for it because he seemed kind of arrogant, a little weird and stuff like that. But after a while,
I'm still not sold on him. So Spencer said that where'd it go? So the acting for Venestra is just not good.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I could agree with that. So Venestra is actually
She's featured in the High Republic
I was
books.
going to say she's in the novels. That's a name I recognize. That is a name I recognize. Of the few High Republic books that I have read. So, so I have read some. But really?
Yeah, it's the director's wife.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's the director's wife.
Huh.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's his wife. Or it's her wife. Sorry.
Agreed.
It's, I didn't mean to say his. It's not his wife. It's her wife. It's her wife.
Spencer made a comment about the Yord discussion. That was a redeeming moment for Yord. Overall,
no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She looks like she got big. Oh man, that's rough.
She kind of made me think of like Barris. She kind of gave me like a Barris feel. A little bit, but yeah, of all the characters in the show, like I said, I'm not invested in her at all. And I like the comment that somebody made the comment about her saying they're political opponents and this, that, and the other thing.
Yeah.
And like I said, maybe her being annoying in the way she is by design, because she is like the embodiment of where the Jedi went askew, if that makes sense. Maybe she's one of the people that kind of embodies that idea.
Yeah, Ron, that's exactly what I was thinking, and I just double checked it because I couldn't remember what species she was, but Venestra and Barris are the same species.
Okay, well then that would explain why. That makes sense. Why.
So Venestra, looking like Elphaba from Wicked,
except with less hair.
Okay. Speaking of Wicked, have you seen the trailer for the new movie?
Yes.
I'm actually strangely interested in seeing that.
I am too. I'll be honest with you. I am too. I have heard the off track, and this is everybody have a drink because we're squirreling here for a moment. It's a squirrel moment. Yeah, squirrel. Yeah, I'm interested too. We can talk about that sometime. But I'm interested in that. I've heard the Broadway musical is excellent, so I'm interested in the movie.
Yeah, never saw the Broadway, but
yeah.
Bye, Bo. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, and without going into, because this is supposed to be like a murder mystery focusing on what's going on with May and her sister Osha and all this kind of stuff. We may not get to see a bunch of like the inner workings of the Jedi. This may stay kind of out in the middle of nowhere and kind of out away from the limelight of the Jedi, because there are people that have brought up some very good points that the Jedi in their arrogance thought the Sith were dead. So if the Sith are operating and they're going after Jedi and they're trying to take out Jedi or they're trying to do things to Jedi, they want to do it under the veil of the shadow and not letting the rest of the council and the rest of the Jedi know they're there.
Yeah.
So, they're trying to make this in my opinion, I think really that's what's going on, is I think this Acolyte is using Osha and May to do what he needs to get done for whoever his master is. And then once he's done with them, I think he's going to lose. I just think he's going to brush him aside, and then we'll see what's really going on, which is them working behind the shadows.
Yeah, Spencer, I don't remember which line you're talking about, so you're gonna have to help me out with that one. Which line do you mean?
Oh, it must be the line that guy said at the end. There's a little speech that he makes at the end about the ambitions of the Acolyte or something like that. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, and I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, about killing the dream, and this is the dream. This is the ambition of an Acolyte or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I vaguely remember it. I vaguely remember it a little bit. Like I said, I need to rewatch it. I try to watch it one or two times. I only had time to watch it twice, or only had time to watch through each episode once. So I need to rewatch it again for that poll.
I've only watched it Yeah, I've only watched it through once as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like I said, Mother Nature had other plans for me last night, so unfortunately I only got to watch it one time. Yeah. So,
Good Lord.
but Spencer said he's going to look it up. He's going to find it real quick for us. So he's helping us.
Cool. Awesome. So yeah, I mean, overall, like we said, it was a good episode.
Mm-hmm. It was a good 2 episodes. I think it really captured a lot. And the real crazy thing is that, and I'm going to pick on social media for a second, where
no,
not me.
No, you're not.
The cesspool that is the human existence.
To those neck beards.
The cesspool of human existence. I saw a lot of bashing, a lot of hate, a lot of things like that. But it seemed like after it came out, there was most of the reactions, about every reaction that was online is that everybody kind of said the same thing. It was intriguing. The story was interesting. People were interested to see what happens in the next few episodes, to see how, if it continues to carry on like it is, to see where it goes from here. And and for those of you who understand how the fandom menace works and how the review bombing works,
the fandom menace.
Yeah, there's been some talk online about it getting review bombed, and saying that Metacritic and Rotten Tomatoes, it got a low score and this, that, and the other thing. Well, of course it did. Everything that Disney has come out with reference to, well, just about every franchise, whether it be Marvel, whether it be Star Wars, it really doesn't matter. The Disney bad crowd has been on top of it, getting in there, review bombing, putting out bad reviews, things like that. And but most of the websites, like a lot of the Facebook groups and stuff that I subscribe to, that are have a good the admins are actually active, and they try to filter out the real toxic behavior. It seems like the response online has been really positive, and people are really intrigued by it, and they think it's going to be, not necessarily Mandalorian season 1 and 2 and Andor caliber, but most of the reviews have been 4 out of 5, 7.5 to 8 out of 10. Those kind of scores is what they've been giving it, and I tend to agree. I like it. I'd give it a solid 4 out of 5, big time. And I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm interested to see this. I'm definitely interested to explore, for them to explore more of the High Republic era. I think that'd be a good era for them to get into. I think if they go back even further and they try to get into the battles with the Nihil and some of those.
Oh man, I'd love to see some of that.
I want to see that. I want to see that. So I'm really hoping that this show is a kickoff point for that, because there's some really interesting and some awesome stories there to explore. And between the Jedi, the Nihil, the Drengi, or I think that's how they pronounce it, the Drengi, the Drengir, and then those stories and those battles and some of the adventures they could go on there. I really hope it's a kickoff point for that.
Yeah, I'm hoping to see. I'm hoping that this will kick off some more High Republic live action, or even animated content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tales of the High Republic, or Tales of the Nihil, or something of that effect. Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah. As long as it's about the High Republic or the Nihil this time.
Yeah. No, it's going to be about the.
Let's not open that wound again.
Yeah.
But overall, I mean, for those of folks who are watching it, who are listening, or who are listening on the rewind, hopefully we didn't spoil it for you. Hopefully you got the chance to see it. If you didn't, I highly recommend you watch it. I think you'll really like it. Don't listen to the critics. Let the fandom menace sit in their echo chamber and scream at each other about how much Disney bad. because I've stopped watching. I've stopped caring about what they think. I've stopped caring about the review bombing. The fact that they have to review bomb it and they have to try to bring it down means that they're doing something right. Because if they weren't, they wouldn't need to do all that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Cool. So, that was what we thought about the Acolyte. We like it.
Mhm.
We're ready
We
to
like
see
it
more.
overall. Yep.
Yeah, overall,
Yep.
I mean, yeah, it had some really nitpicky things. Most of all,
one nitpicky, one major.
I was getting ready to say most of it is nitpicky, but the carry-in I'm still sore about that. I don't think I'm going to get over that one for a while. Fucking bastards. Anyway, so that was what we thought about the Acolyte. So thanks everybody that tuned in tonight on here on YouTube and on Facebook and now on Twix. Looks like we had some people show up on that one.
Thanks for tuning in, everybody. We sure do appreciate it.
And if you're listening to it on the audio, thanks for listening to the audio. And come back next week on Tuesday, not Wednesday. This is not our regular day.
Mm-mm.
So come back on Tuesday. And what are we going to talk about? I don't think we've come up with a topic yet.
I don't think so. Are all the episodes airing at the same time?
Oh, hell if I know. Let's find out. Let's see, because we got somewhere out there is a schedule. So the next episode airs on June 11th. It doesn't really say whether or not it's not coming on until 8.
Spencer says yes, same time. So I'm
Okay,
assuming
we won't be talking about the Acolyte next week.
Nope, we won't be talking about the Acolyte next week.
We will. We'll come up with something.
We'll come up with something.
We usually do.
Mm-hmm. Stay tuned.
Yeah. So, Bub, thanks for your input to help us out with our show. Hopefully, we'll get some monkey lizards out there on the next few episodes, and a monkey lizard Jedi, definitely.
And hopefully, if we do get a monkey lizard, they're not eating it.
Oh dear God, hope not. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next week with some sort of content. Later. May the force be with you.